The phone rang at 2:17 a.m. One vibration, then another, then silence. I stared at the ceiling, counting the cracks I'd memorized years ago, pretending sleep still owned me. When it rang again, I answered without checking the name. Her breathing filled the line first, fast, shallow, terrified. "Please," she whispered, "you have to tell me. Is it true?" I said nothing. The city outside my window glowed in sterile blue, distant sirens, a world continuing without us. She tried again. They said you make—" I closed my eyes. So this was the moment, the first time she had ever needed me since she laughed and signed the papers. A week earlier, she had been radiant in another man's arms. Now her voice trembled like glass. "I just need to know," she said, "because if it's true, I ruined everything." I let the silence stretch, not out of cruelty, out of accuracy, because silence was the only honest language left between us. And when I finally spoke, it wasn't comfort she heard. It was the sound of something ancient finishing its work. "Yes," I said quietly, "it's true." Her breath shattered. The joke came at dinner. Candles, wine she didn't like but pretended to, a smile sharpened by boredom. "I don't want a poor husband, lull." She said it lightly, as if it were nothing, as if it hadn't landed directly on a pressure point she'd never bothered to map. I smiled back, nodded, paid the bill. At home, she scrolled through her phone with careless speed, hiding nothing because she believed there was nothing to hide. 3 weeks later, divorce papers arrived. No explanation, just efficiency. She had already chosen someone else. Younger, louder, visible wealth. He drove the kind of car that announces itself before it arrives. She wanted announcements now. At the signing, she avoided my eyes. "I just want more," she said. "Not love, not honesty. More." She remarried fast. Public ceremony, white dress, photographs designed to erase me. Friends sent condolences. They spoke of betrayal. They spoke of cruelty. They never spoke of irony, because none of them knew what she never bothered to ask, what I did, what I earned, what I hid. I had built an entire financial life in silence. Private equity, licensing rights, quiet investments that multiplied while I pretended to be ordinary. $1.5 million a year, after taxes, after anonymity. I never corrected her assumptions, not because I feared her, because I was studying her. And some truths are only useful at the exact moment they detonate. After the divorce, I watched, not her life, her patterns. Social media told stories people thought were real. Bank filings told the ones that mattered. Her new husband burned money like performance art. Leased assets, short-term gains, debt disguised as confidence. She believed she had upgraded. I saw countdown numbers. Then came the late-night searches. My name, my companies, my filings. Someone had whispered. Someone always does. I imagined the moment realization entered her body, how it would settle in her stomach first, cold, heavy, then panic would rise, because regret is not sadness, it is terror with a memory. I waited, did nothing, said nothing, let the architecture of consequence build itself, and when the cracks finally surfaced, when lawsuits circled her new husband, when creditors knocked, when her perfect life began hemorrhaging quietly, that's when the phone rang. She came to my office 2 days later, no makeup, no performance, just fear wearing her face. "I need to know," she said, "before everything collapses." I slid a folder across the desk, not aggressively, precisely. Tax summaries, annual statements, company valuations. She opened it slowly. Her hands started shaking before she reached the numbers. When she did, her eyes went vacant. The room seemed to tilt. You made this while we were married?" I nodded. "All those years?" "Yes." She laughed once. It sounded broken. "I left you because I thought you were average." I didn't correct her. Average men chase status. Wealth hides. She tried to speak again, failed. Tears came next. Apologies, regret pouring out in unstructured confession. "I would have stayed," she whispered. I looked at her carefully, measured the honesty, then answered. "No," I said. "You would have pretended to." Her voice rose. "You let me destroy my life." I leaned back. "No," I said. "You revealed it." I told her about the prenup clause she had signed without reading, about the investments she forfeited, about the companies now unreachable. Then I told her the last detail. Her new husband's firm, the one collapsing, was partially owned by one of my holding groups. Indirect, legal, untraceable. I hadn't caused his downfall. I had simply declined to stop it. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. Nothing came out. For the first time since I met her, she understood something essential. Not that I was rich, but that she had misjudged the only variable that ever mattered. Me. She reached for my hand. I withdrew it before contact. "Please," she said, "tell me there's still—" "No," I said, and stood. After she left, I remained seated, watched dust settle in the late afternoon light, felt nothing, not satisfaction, not anger, only completion. Revenge is not violence, it is symmetry. The world had aligned itself with the truth she refused to see. Weeks later, I heard her marriage was dissolving, assets frozen, friends gone, silence replacing applause. She texted once, "I think about you every day." I deleted it. Some memories deserve to starve. Tonight, the city hums outside again, another ceiling, different cracks. I am still wealthy, still invisible, still exactly who I was before she left. The only difference now is that she knows, and I no longer need to be seen, because the cruelest thing about power is not having it. It's knowing you once walked away from it, smiling.